Hi everyone, welcome. This is Cindy with Tana Tarot. You know, today I want to do something a little different. Just wanted to check in with you guys, chat, and actually I wish I knew how to stream, because if I knew how to stream I would do that. So I've got to figure that out. I see a lot of tarot readers streaming, and they can get comments and input, and they can talk to their viewers, and I just haven't done that yet, and I wanted to get this out, but I think I am going to try and make an attempt to do a stream. But anyway, I just wanted to catch you guys up on some things that are going on with me, and then I wanted to do a brief little storytelling thing using the tarot cards. So first of all, wanted to let you know, I did in the community tab put a message as to let you guys know that I do have a store on Etsy, and I sell oils. Oh, let me pull them out here. Let me show you what I've got. So I have oils. I have Van oil, Jezebel oil, Four Thieves oil, Lust oil, Blessing oil, Seven African Powers oil, Crown of Success oil, Protection oil, Money oil, Love oil, Road Opener oil, and then I have a jar for the third eye chakra opening oil that I need to fill up. And then I ran out of jars. I was just doing these for demos. So I also just recently made a, what is it? A dragon blood oil. And so, so I'm gonna have 14, I think, or quite a few oils to sell on my store. And then I made some roller balls. And this is all, these oils have been steeping for 4 and 5 years. And I just put my intention and my love into them, and, pray over them. And they're just super duper strong. And I use them all the time for my candles and other things that I do. I have a Love oil, roller ball, Van oil, Protection oil, handy. You can carry this in your purse with you. And Jezebel oil, in case you meet someone cute. I also have spell jars. I have small spell jars and larger ones. I don't know where my larger ones are, but I have, these can be carried with you. The larger ones, they're not that much bigger. They're this size. I don't know. I think I packed them already, which is something else I need to tell you. So these larger ones, you can put them under your bed. You can put them on your windowsill, that kind of thing. And these smaller ones are more mobile. You can keep them in your handbag, or, whatever, take them around with you. So I have the money spill jar, the protection spill jar, and the love spill jar. And then I'm also coming out with a sage and Palo Santo spray, and a rose moon water spray made with moon water. So the reason I'm telling you guys this is because I had let you know in the community tab that I was going to be opening back up my Etsy store. Well, come to happen, I've been thinking about it for years, but just all of a sudden the time is right. I am going to be selling my house and moving, I'm pretty sure, if I can, get what I need to make the move. So I had to pack a bunch of stuff up because, man, what a pack rat. And so all my ingredients and all my stuff and my packing materials, I was just getting everything all set up, and it was just way too messy looking. And so I'm going to have to put it off until after I sell, and it may be a couple months, but I want to do it right. So just give me some time here, but I'm excited about it. I mean, my oils are powerful. I also have spiritual baths, spiritual bath salts, just all kinds of awesome stuff. You guys will love it. And I'm not reselling anybody else's stuff. All my stuff is handmade and, prayed over intentions, all that kind of stuff. Again, my oils are like 4, 5, 6 years old. They've been steeping. So very, very powerful oils. But anyway, just wanted to let you guys know. You're like, well, she said she was going to open a store. She's full of it. Well, just like shortly after that, decided that for many reasons now would be a good time to make the move for the market and everything. So bear with me, and you will be very happy, once I open my store. I think you guys will be thrilled to see what I have. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. And that wasn't a commercial. I just wanted you guys to know that I'm not full of it, So here's a story I wanted to tell you. Now, in many of my readings, I talk about self-love and learning the lessons. And, I'll tell you what, like 10 years ago, I had no concept of self-love. If you would have asked me, I would have thought, yeah, I think I'm pretty cool. I think I'm awesome. Yeah, I love myself. But I really, really didn't. And I've always been a perpetual student, always a learner, and wanting to grow, wanting to expand, wanting to be spiritual. But I tell you, I'd read some books, especially like on love, and it'd be like Greek. Like I didn't get the concept, And then I'd read silly stuff like the rules. And, and the rules really, I call it silly, but the rules really did have a lot of good stuff behind them. It was like, don't ever call a guy, never text a guy back right away, always wait so many minutes. And it was all the rules. But all the rules really was just a way of making it was like the ideas behind it were good, and to do those things are a good thing if you know why you're doing them. Because people with high esteem high self-esteem and self-love and self-worth do those things. But I felt like I was playing a game. I was like, I can't do this. This is playing a game. This isn't real. And I think one reason is because of the way it was presented. But also another reason was because I just didn't get it. So I talk about self-love in my readings a lot. And I'm like, I just don't know. I try and take the time, but you can't really get into self-love when you're trying to keep your readings to 12, 15 minutes. Sometimes I go to 20. I just, when I first started, I was like, God, what am I going to find to talk about? It's going to take up, I was told, try and make your readings like around 10 minutes. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to have enough to talk about in 10 minutes. But now you can't shut me up. So, but I don't have time in the readings to really go into it. So I started thinking, you know what? The Nine of Cups is one of my favorite cards. And so I'm going to do the self-love reading about the Nine of Cups. And then I was going through the deck trying to find the 9, and I saw the 10, and I was like, well, that's the progression. But then I saw the 8, and I was like, yes. And then I saw the 7, and I was like, here's the story. So let me tell you all a story about a man named Jed. Poor mountaineer, barely kept his family fed. Okay, no, that's not the one. That's the Beverly Hillbillies, and I know all the words, by the way. But so here's the story of self-love. So normally, and I always do this, I always blame it on the parents, but what are you going to do? They did the best they could with what they had. So I'm just using myself as an example. So as a child, I would call myself probably more ignored or neglected than abused or anything. There was no physical abuse. There was always food. I was never left alone, for any amount of time. Always had, like, my big sister was watching us and stuff if my parents went anywhere. But what I did have was a dad who left when I was 2 or 3, and only saw him once again in my life. So that was a huge abandonment, and I always thought it was because there was something wrong with me. But my mom just was like, we're starting over, leave us alone. And like, I guess back in the 50s and 60s, you could get away with that. Oh, no, shit, now you know how old I am. Oh, well. So anyway, he left and never came around. And then my mom remarried. Great guy, still my, my stepdad, still my dad to this day. My bio dad died when I was 19. But they were both alcoholics and really were busy doing that. And when you're raised by alcoholics and they're busy living their lives, doing their things, having their drama, you can really feel invisible. And also being the middle child, my big sister was getting in trouble for, the things that she was doing as an older teenager. So she was getting attention. My two little sisters were, the cute ones, and, they were still doing activities with them. And I was kind of the age where I felt like Cinderella, and my name is Cindy, so that's kind of funny. And I was, literally washing the dishes every day for a family of 5. When I was 10, I was sent in a cab. My mom used to be a cab dispatcher, so that part was safe. But I was sent in a cab to a public laundromat and washed probably about 12 loads of laundry, and washed them, dried them, and folded them, and then the cab came and got me. Could you imagine asking a 10 or 11-year-old kid to do that today? I don't think so. So a lot of responsibility. So I felt invisible. Also, my mom, bless her soul, and this term is thrown around very loosely, but narcissist, really, I remember her hugging me once in my life when I was 17. And I guess as I got older, she said, I love you, but I don't remember it as a kid. Very self-involved, shall we say. So anyway, I grew up with very little self-esteem, very little self-worth. Didn't feel like I was loved or worthy of love. And I have the 7 of Cups here to depict that. Here's a person that's confused. Look, they have one hand up. They're looking at all these cups. There's good stuff in some. It looks like maybe some jewels. Bad stuff in others. There's a snake here. There's a dragon there. The wreath is supposed to mean, oh crap, I can't remember what the wreath means. Sorry, you guys. I don't know what this big thing is. Looks like a big old mushroom with red fur on it. But anyway, this card depicts a lot of choices, confusion. And this is how people who've grown up with dysfunction, and I'll just say dysfunction because so many things fall into it, neglect, abuse, whatever. So this is how people with family dysfunction are when they get older. They're confused. They don't know what is right. They don't know what is healthy. I swear I learned about relationships on TV, the Brady Bunch, and, things how I thought it was supposed to be. Definitely not from watching my parents, argue and all that kind of stuff. So this is growing up an adult child of an alcoholic with no self-esteem, no self-worth, no self-love, not knowing what the hell's going on, making all kinds of bad choices. So I actually have been married twice and actually married 2 alcoholics. Go figure. So that is what you do. That felt normal. That felt right. And the whole time, though, trying to figure out, of course I knew something was wrong. I thought people knew, like I was absent the day they passed out how to pick a good partner, how to, get a good partner. I mean, I'd look at people and I'd be like, how do these people, how could they be in a relationship and not me? And not like I'm better than them or anything, but I mean, it was like, like I'm just as pretty or just as smart or, whatever. I have just as good a job as this other person. How can they have a good relationship and I don't? I felt like my picker was off. I felt like I used to say, if there's 100 guys in the room and 99 are healthy and one's a narcissist or an alcoholic or whatever, basically unavailable. That's the big thing here. We pick unavailable people, whether through inability to love, narcissism, whatever all the disorders, married, just repressed, players. I mean, you name it. Unavailable. That's who you pick. And do you know why? It's because you're not available. But that's a secret, and we'll come to that later. So you pick unavailable people, and you have some pretty shitty relationships. You don't have much luck, and you think your picker's off. So I used to say, if there's 100 guys in a room, 99 are healthy and one is, bad or whatever, dysfunctional, I would pick that person. And I'll tell you what the real deal is as we get up over here. But I mean, I told myself all these things. This is why this happened. And all the time thinking I had good self-esteem and that I love myself. So after we go through this a few times, we start to realize the common denominator. And the common denominator was me. Okay? And so you start to wonder, like I said, I'd read self-help books and didn't get them. But as you went through it, you started to notice things. You started to take responsibility for your actions. Oh, and then also what I did and what some of you may do, the whole victim thing as well. Well, it's not my fault, blah, 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 and this and that. Not really taking responsibility for my part in these relationships. Not for my childhood, but for my part in these relationships. Like, yeah, I had a effed up childhood, bad things happened, it wasn't, the greatest thing. Sure, yeah, I was pissed off at my mom for a long, long time. But then comes a time as an adult, do you want to be pissed off or do you want to get better and have a good relationship? So, you have a choice. So I took the choice to wanting to get better and have a good relationship. I started seeing my part in things. I started recognizing my MO, the things that I would do. And a lot of it was definitely picking the wrong person or being picked by the wrong person. I think some of that has to do with law of attraction. You attract what you are. But also, I'll tell you the secret now. So even healthy people pick dysfunctional people or narcissists or whatever. But the secret, what they do different is they see the red flags, they don't ignore the red flags, and then when they see the red flags, they bust a move and they end it and they get out. Me, I was a fixer, I was a healer. I had to prove to people how worthy I was of being in a relationship with them. If they were unavailable, I was different. I was going to make them available. I was going to teach them how to love. I was a fixer. I was a healer. I was so busy trying to fix other people and prove my love that, there was no way I could get better or see what my part was or what I was doing. And then we come to the Eight of Cups. And you see this person walking away from these upright cups. Now, did I experience love? Did I have love? Yes. People loved me the best they could. Did I love them? Yes. As much as I could. I probably overgave to undergivers. It definitely wasn't balanced. There was love, but it wasn't reciprocal, balanced, healthy love. So I had to walk away. So I walked away and I left these, and these are upright cups. These, I worked on this. You know what I mean? I did learn, along the way. I learned about my victim thing. Like in my 30s, I saw that my MO was being a victim, and I was like, well, that's not cool. I have been a victim, but I don't want to come from that place. I don't want to live as a victim my whole entire life. That's not a good thing. So I worked on it and I worked on it. And two things happened. One, I was in a shrink's office. I had to go because to continue one of my prescriptions. They made me go. And I have nothing against therapy. In fact, therapy has been very helpful. But I was in a shrink's office. Oh no, hold on. Let me close my door. Thank you. Sorry about that. So I was in a shrink's office trying to keep my prescription going, and he had me do this test and stuff, and I really did not like him. I thought he was smug, and he was just, ugh. So, hold on. He was asking me these questions, and he was saying stuff, and he was like, you don't love yourself. You don't think you're worthy of love. And I was like, yes, I do. I think I'm awesome. I think I'm smart. I think I'm reasonably good looking. I think this, I think that. And I made some kind of self-deprecating, is it how you say, joke, about myself. And he goes, that is your, what is the word? That's your, the thing that you do to hide what's really going on. Can't think of the word right now. And I just burst into tears, and I was like, oh my God, he's right. And I saw all this proving my worth, selling myself, not literally on the street, but trying to prove my worth to people, and like, oh, I'm, through my actions or even through my words, boy, I'm really worth having. I'm a good person. I don't know why you don't, want to, get serious and have a relationship and that kind of stuff. And, I saw all these patterns and all these things that I had done, and I really realized that was true. And it was an epiphany. Now, as epiphanies go, they'll hit you, bam, hard in the head, and then you think your life has changed, and it probably is, because once you see something, you can't unsee it, but there was still a lot of work to do. It didn't really change anything. Except for, like I said, I had seen something and now I can't unsee it, right? So I go on in my, let's do this. Bloop, 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 bloop. Okay, so I go along and I'm kind of back here, doing stupid stuff again, not reciprocal, not balanced. And finally, just through people's actions and the imbalance and the lack of reciprocity, I get so pissed off that I realize, wow, how, short. Hold on. Sorry. So anyway, I know where I was. So finally, I just got so pissed off at the way this person was treating me. Not physical, not abuse, just disregard, no balance, whatever they wanted to do. And I used to talk till I was blue in the face. I used to lay there at night and think up speeches of what I was going to do and what I was going to say, and I was going to really say something that was just really going to hit home with them, and they were going to finally get it and recognize how awesome I was, and blah blah blah. Wow. Okay, so I just got so pissed off that the epiphany kind of turned into a deeper realization of, why am I doing this? And I have no freaking boundaries. Why? I would say, this is how you have to treat me. And I'd probably try and fight for it for a minute, but I didn't really enforce the boundaries initially or repeatedly. It just didn't happen. And so for a long time, I didn't know what boundaries were, okay? So I finally got to the point where I was like, what are my boundaries? And I said, well, I knew what I didn't want. So I went through, I realized what I didn't want, what was not acceptable. And then I started writing. I actually did. I wrote it down, and then I wrote down, what are my boundaries? Number 1, must be available. Number 2, must, just time-wise, the things that were important to me. Like 3 or 4 or 5 major things. Like, if you're not sure, like, what would you expect from a friend? What type of treatment would you expect from a good friend or a best friend? And that's kind of where to look. And you can tell from what you don't want, what it is that you want and what it is that you deserve. Okay? And isn't it sad that, that I or we have to go through that to figure out what it is to be treated properly? And then I put those, 2 of the boundaries. I said, hey, it has to be X and Y. And they were like, okay, blah, blah, blah. Left, then came back, still wasn't X and Y. I didn't even make a big speech like I used to do a big deal. I'm like, hey, has to be X and Y. I just came to see how you're doing. Doing fine. Okay. Then might be like a few months or something, try and pop by again. Hey, call next time, or, I'm at work, I'm kind of busy. Oh, I just came, yeah, doing fine. So it's good. Has to be X and Y. Okay. So, it, depending on what your situation is, you may want to be a lot more, harsh about it, or a lot more, you may, whatever situation you're in, you may just want to totally end, contact or communication or whatever. But I kind of liked petering out like that. It gave me a really big sense of power, made me feel really, really good. And so finally here I was sitting at the 9 of Cups, and each of these cups is full of self-esteem, self-worth, self-love. And that's why when I see this card, I love this card, because what this shows me is that in my readings, when this card comes up, depending on which position it's in, it either shows that you need to do the work or that you have done the work. When this shows up in like the person's energy position, it makes me super duper happy. Super happy, because this shows me that the person either is doing or has done the work. So we cannot get to the 10 of Cups until we get ourselves to the 9 of Cups, because the 9s are about self. The 9 of Cups about self-love. The 9 of Pentacles about building oneself up and manifesting and, creating, a solid, structure, foundation for life. And this is about self-love, self-worth, self-satisfied in a good way, sitting pretty, like, I've done the work, I know my worth. And once you get here, you can go back and visit, but you will never live there again. Because this is a total change in perception, just a total change in being. Is this the end? Are you like fixed and everything's hunky-dory? No. You can fall back into confusion. Sometimes things happen in a different way. There's a new kind of effed up, a fresh kind of hell. And you think, oh, hey, this is good, you know, and you get into it and you're like, oh dear, okay, I did not see that. And we can be thrown off track. Life is ups and downs. Life is a cycle. So yeah, you can end up back here even once you've gotten here. But the cool part is not for long. Just like I told you, walking into the room of 100 people and choosing the one bad one, everybody does that or can do that. But the secret is, for the healthy person, the person that has self-love and self-esteem, they won't stay here for long anymore. Not the 20 years or the 10 years. I haven't 20, but I have 10. Actually, I have 12. Stayed in something that wasn't good. Life is short, man. So, you get here where you've realized through epiphanies, through counseling, through someone pissing you off so bad that you finally get it, through reading books, self-help books, through whatever. And you get here. Only then, and this is the trite shit that I hate always saying, you can't love someone else until you love yourself. But now that I've told you the story, do you get it? You can't love someone else when you're here. You don't know what love is. You don't love yourself. But once you've learned the lesson and you get here, that's when you can go to the Ten of Cups. If you want. Some people sit pretty here, and that's beautiful too. But that's when you can go to the Ten of Cups, when you can give love, and when you're able to receive love. When you're here, you can't receive love. You're pissed off. Oh, they don't love me. It's not fair. It's not balanced. You wouldn't know what to do with love if it came up and bit you on the ass. And I'm not saying you, but you know, one. One would not know what to do. One does not know here what love is. You have to get so disgusted that you walk away and you go learn and you leave and with the mission of learning how to look at this differently. You do the work. You end up as the Nine of Cups. Then, if you wish, and only then are you able to be the Ten of Cups. True, reciprocal, balanced, healthy love. And does that ever go sideways? Yeah, it does. That's life. But let me tell you, living up here is way better than living down here. So that's my story. And so when I'm in a reading and I'm saying, you've learned the lesson, you've learned how to love yourself, you've set boundaries, this voyage is what I'm talking about. And I hope that helps. Please let me know if it does. And if it does, please do give me a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel. Now, if you would be interested in going deeper into anything, or maybe looking more deeply into the meanings of other cards and how they reflect on everyday life and, you know, learnings and lessons, I'd be super happy to do that. I love this. I've been meaning to do this for a long, long time. So please do put down in the comments if you have any requests as far as topics for readings, or if you wanted to go deeper into any aspect of this. So thanks so much for spending this time with me. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.